I'm going to pass it to Commissioner McDuffie um, to add in anything, and then Commissioner Lockett as well, because we all met.
Well, can I add one thing to that, Mr. Commissioner Fletcher? If we're going to talk about honoring that young lady, I would like to make a recommendation from us in 5A and make a recommendation that, if possible, we can create a plaque of some sort and honoring Commissioner Washington for his 17 years of service.
Oh, please.
And hold on for 1 minute, because I want to make sure we understand the road that we're going down. So
Right.
once we start talking about awards and all that kind of stuff, understand that no ANC funds can be used for it.
Right.
So anything that we're talking about doing here, recognizing anybody or anything like that, it would have to be some personal decisions that we all are making, and that we're willing to invest in whatever the price is for whatever needs to be done. So just keep that in mind. I mean, we can do an official resolution or whatever, but when you start talking about a plaque and all that stuff where there is a cost, then we're going to have to encumber that cost. So just keep that in mind as we are discussing this.
Sorry about that.
Can I make a request, Chairman Edwards? I know since this is an executive meeting, this is sort of an open-ended discussion. I realize that, but can we, in the interest of time, the main reason this meeting was called was to talk about the UDC garden. Can we try and do that first? Especially since I have to step out. I can come back, but I have to step out and come back a few minutes.
I support that, and I think that's what we should do, the main reason, and then we can come back to this issue after we talk about that. So, and Commissioner Fletcher, he mentioned several items, and that was just one that I think sort of excited.
That was
so let's go to the first one.
Yeah, and I
Let's
listed that first. Yeah, I listed because I want to be clear, because I want to respect everyone's time. I listed that first because Commissioner McDuffie, Commissioner Locke, and I talked about it together at McDonald's. That's why I just want to give the purpose, and then I'm backing off and giving the floor to Commissioner McDuffie, Commissioner Lockett about that issue first.
All right, Commissioner McDuffie, you got the floor.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everybody. Sorry that I was late. I was having some technical difficulties there.
Me too.
But I did want us to have the executive meeting for a couple of reasons. One was to discuss the food hub, and I don't have a lot to share with that, but I want to give a brief history with that. But also, I just thought it was helpful if we could sometimes get together and discuss these things prior to us meeting with the general public, because sometimes we tend to air our dirty laundry out, right? You know, and I like us to kind of have a conversation prior to, if we can. But as far as the UDC Bacchus and Garden and Food Hub, I was approached by a resident. I believe the resident may live in Commissioner Lucio's SMD, but because the Food Hub was in my SMD, Mrs. Dixon reached out saying that she, and with Commissioner Lockett, for two reasons. First, saying that she had some concerns about upgrades to the garden. And also her and Commissioner Lockett wanted to give me heads up that they were going to do a walkthrough of the garden. And I believe Commissioner Fletcher joined them on that walkthrough. After that walkthrough was finished, it was my understanding initially, or misunderstanding, I thought Mrs. Dixon wasn't in communication with the UDC officials, and it was a break in communication, and she needed my help, you know, bridging that gap. But as it turned out, she and other board members actually had been in constant communication, to my understanding, with the UDC officials. And because of that, she really didn't share any other concerns with me. The UDC officials addressed the upgrade concerns. I shared that with Commissioner Lockett and Commissioner Fletcher, and I'd be more than happy to share with you all. But what I was going to do, and this is, you know, because although the food hub is in my SMD, because it's part of the larger 5A community, and I believe Commissioner Fletcher is going to touch on working with the Ward 5, I believe the mutual aid with the food hub, but I thought we might want to bring possibly Mr. White or the other UDC official he works with on one of our 5A meetings just to discuss the garden, possibly discuss the upgrades, and share any information that community members might be might not be privy to because they might not be on email chains and things like that. And I just wanted to bring it before you commissioners to see if you were interested in having the UDC official at the meeting. Chairman Fletcher, I believe, is already familiar. Commissioner Lucio, you may know Mr. White from UDC, and also Mr. Lockett just did a walkthrough with them. If you all don't feel that that's necessary to share that information, that's fine. I can just send it out to my SMD. But if y'all all like Mr. White to come on and just share whatever information and updates he have, I'm sure they'll be happy to do that.
Well, I think now that I've had this conversation with you, I've also had a couple of conversations with Commissioner Lockett regarding this as well. And so I think from a commission standpoint, it is certainly something that we're interested in. If it's a program that we can help to sort of get going in any kind of way, then I think I'm all for hearing what the commission says and then trying to do whatever it is that we think we can do. Commissioner Lockett, did you have anything you wanted to add to this discussion?
Just a little. When I was approached with Miss Dixon, she brought it to my attention. I had seen this site about 2.5 years ago when I visited, and I was impressed what they were trying to do there. They were actually raising fish there. They were growing the vegetables there, and I was impressed. I was even going to volunteer some services to come there, but Corona came in and kind of, I guess, shut everything down, and I got contacted by Miss Dixon, and I don't know how she came, and she just got my number and called me and started it. And it kind of enlightened me to say, well, let me take a look what's going on up there. And at that point, I then shared a little bit with Commissioner McDuffie because that is his SMD. I am not stepping on anybody's feet. He's that person in that area. I will give all the support I have to him if we pursue this and try to make a project out of it. And I guess, Commissioner Edwards, in our conversation, it is a plan that could go citywide if we are able to pull this off as 5A. I think we can do that with all of us involved under the guidance of Commissioner McDuffie, that we can get something like this done as a role model for the city just coming out of 5A here. Again, I agree with talking to the officials there. Miss Dixon is a gardener. She is a garden club person. She, as McDuffie was explaining, she basically don't have any say-so on how they administer the services there. So it took me a little while to figure that out because she was leaving with the impression that she had all these contacts and everything there, and that was not the case. She was a concerned citizen, and I admire her for doing that, okay?
She's a member of the UDC. I believe she has I believe
Right.
they have like a garden board or something
Right, a
like that.
garden
Excuse me
board,
for
yes.
interrupting, Commissioner
Right.
Lockett. I just wanted to add that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
So it sounds like you guys have talked and that you are sort of like on the same page in terms of what you want to do. If Commissioner McDuffie, could you kind of just tell me in sort of a clear, sort of succinct statement exactly what it is that we would like to do, and then the meeting inviting UDC, is it to discuss our plans or is it just for them to give us an update sort of like on what's going on?
Right. I would like for Mr. White and possibly it was a Dr. Zindendale, I can't remember the other name, but possibly Mr. White, he may be their spokesperson there, just to come on and present the updates, the same updates that they shared with me. That way the community is aware. Let the community know that the garden may be open, because again, I don't know the different projects that may be going on that may be open to community members that they may want to participate in. So he might be able to share that so more community members can come and take a part and things like that. And then, it's my understanding that he also, there's also some type of a email chain or something with them as far as the garden members and things like that. And community members may want to be a part of that. So rather than me just trying to push that information out to individual commissioners here in 5A, I thought it might be a good idea just to bring that point of contact on, and then folks will actually now have a point of contact to go to directly themselves.
Can
I
I just add
agree.
something real quick? So I would support this as well. I would suggest we try and get her for the March meeting, because if we're going to have Director Lott on for the April meeting, I would not suggest scheduling anything else around that. And I'm assuming we don't want to wait until May to have her on. So my suggestion would be to add her to the March agenda.
Mhm.
Okay, but I agree with Commissioner McDuffie is saying. I think we need to contact UDC, those individuals. Those are the ones that know exactly what's going on there for us to gather some information and see of what assistance we could be to try to get that up and running.
Mhm. So do you know if the program is currently still being funded by UDC, or you don't know? Okay.
No, we don't
All right.
know.
Okay,
I have a
so
question. I have a question.
yeah.
Is that garden club have anything to do with the garden that's over here in my area as well, behind Mamie D. Lee? Because there's
They
a
may
garden,
be.
a huge garden there.
They
It's been
may.
there for years.
They have
No,
a
I
connection
think-
to this area here.
It's my understanding that's a separate garden. That's a separate
Separate? Okay.
community garden. Yeah.
Okay,
Well-
but is a garden in Ward 5. I mean, in
Right.
5A. It's
Yeah.
a garden in 5A.
There's
And it's-
there's also a garden over by Turkey Thicket. There's lots of them.
Well, 2 weeks ago,
I mean,
uh,
go ahead.
2 weeks ago, Miss Dixon invited me to go to the monastery just off of Bunker Hill there. And I went there and I met the gentleman and seen these historical buildings there. But he showed me more. He showed me a big greenhouse, twice the size of what they have up there. But he showed me a farm. That is a farm. And they're actually raising bees and everything there and looking for some place that they distribute their produce out to. They do give it to some of the nonprofit agencies throughout the city, but I thought that would be a resource for us to use to attach to UDC in bringing fresh produce there. And I mean everything. They have a day where the people can come there and get the vegetables as well as buy honey and things from them. I would love for somebody to take a tour with me of that place because I'm in the process of trying to get a school that my grandson, so they can go there and get more classes to come there and see that. And this is the same thing I would love to see at UDC, where we can bring the kids in there as well as the senior citizens and provide these services to them. But most importantly, give them nutrition value. That's all.
So what ANC is the Bunker Hill? That's 5B?
I don't know. I stepped
That's
on my
5B.
toes. I went there. I went there as a citizen.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's 5B. Yeah, I
Okay.
think that's 5B, Bunker Hill.
It's 5B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
I wanted to follow up on Commissioner Washington's point that she was making about and Commissioner Lucio kind of mentioned that there are several of these gardens in the ward, and I think this is unique in that it is the University of the District of Columbia. This is going to be a more far-reaching kind of program, and if ANC 5A sort of get involved, then I think we're going to help to give them the impetus to be more community oriented citywide. So I kind of see it being an advantage if this is something that the commission wants to do. But are we just like hearing about things and sort of or are we saying, hey, UDC, we want you to reinstitute this program and we're willing to do blah, 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 or help me understand, is it saying we wondering, we know it was up until the pandemic and whatever, so we want them to come now and sort of explain where we are, and then from there we go forward. How do we proceed from this meeting tonight, I guess is my question.
Yes, Chairman. With that being said, now again, I don't have a set agenda right now. Right now, what I would like for them to do is to present what programs they already have up and running that the community can take part in. Present those upgrades that they shared with me to the community garden. I didn't necessarily think that we had to possibly attach ourselves. Now, with that being said, they did have in the past some of the folks that garden there were able to set up stands in front of UDC and sell. I can't remember the name of it. It's not a flea market. I can't remember the name of it. But you know, when
I
they
know
set
you're
up the
talking about.
produce, yes, ma'am. When they set up the
Mhm.
produce and things like that. And I think that they're trying to get something like that up and running again. Now that would be great if we could somehow figure out, you know, what do they need to get that back up and running so they could possibly sell some of their produce to the community. You know, I bought some of my family walking by one time when I saw them outside, but I think they had some trouble getting that back up. And also I know Chairman Fletcher mentioned possibly with the food hub that they have from the produce and things that they have, that they may be able to work with the Ward 5 Mutual Aid. And so we could, you know, that would be great if we could possibly be helpful with that, you know, transition of getting food from the garden to the mutual aid, you know. So there's a couple of potential things that we can do. I think that the community can benefit from. I don't want us necessarily, and this is just me, I don't want us to necessarily have to get ourselves too connected to too much that's going on there, because UDC can kind of handle that their own. That's why I want to make sure that Mr. White can set up a line of communication in case folks have questions and concerns. They don't necessarily have to always come to commissioners for that. They can go straight to the source. I always like that. But I also would like to work with Chairman Fletcher and all of the commissioners here with the Ward 5 Mutual Aid and possibly helping them set up their stands again, their produce stands. I think those would be two great projects we can work on.
And it would also be good to connect if there are other gardens, connect them all to UDC, because they may be just sitting there themselves not knowing.
That was
You
great
know?
when you brought that up, Commissioner Washington. I didn't
Yeah,
even
I
think of
mean,
that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, that
UDC
would be
has
good,
other
yeah.
gardens.
Mm.
Yeah.
They have one at 60th and East Capitol. They have a big garden in Beltsville, Maryland, also, where they get produce or they raise produce.
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah,
know
I'm
where
just
it
talking-
goes after that.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the local ones, you know, that are in
All
proximity
working together.
and
Yeah.
all
Okay.
working together. Yeah,
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
working
That's right.
together.
That's right.
Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
so I'm good with everything that has been said.
I
It
am
sounds
too.
like based on our discussion here tonight, you all are recommending that we put UDC on the agenda, invite the speakers that you're talking about. They'll give us an update, give us a briefing and all of that, and any discussions that we want to have at that point, we can have with them. And then afterwards, we can, if you all decide you want to do more, we can come together as a commission and decide. But is that kind of where we are with this?
Yes, Chairman.
Fine with me.
If you all would like, with your permission, Chairman, I would reach out to Mr. White. I believe our meeting is on the 23rd. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And just let him know that you know, we would like to invite him, and I will bring you all into that email and conversation. But just to make sure we're on the same page, the main things I would like him to talk about are the upgrades that he discussed, the potential for the stands to be set up again, the produce stands, the potential, and Chairman Fletcher, if you know, you have to take the lead on this because of your work with the mutual aid folks. But how can they get connected to the UDC food hub? And lastly, what Commissioner Washington brought up, the great point, I would like him to explore, you know, how we could connect the UDC garden to the other gardens, and particularly in 5A.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Collaborate those.
That sounds good to me. And we can do that by common consent. Is that kind of, because it seems like
Yeah,
everybody
that's
is in
fine.
agreement. Is there anybody who disagree?
Commissioner Rojas, you've been quiet to know.
Yeah, no, I agree with it a lot. I was just, like you said, I'd like to hear more about it and everything too, but it sounds, I'm in agreement 100%.
Okay, sounds good.
Sounds
you all.
good to me.
So I'll reach out and include you all in the conversation to get it started prior to the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. So then the next item, Commissioner Fletcher, if you, are we finished with that?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Fletcher, we can go back to your discussion, your earlier discussion.
Yeah, just, you know, and again, this is also talking to you, Mr. Chair, about where we are with the letters to Director Lott. He will be attending.
Yeah, I sent all my information in. I'm waiting. I've been waiting for the letter to go out.
And
Haven't
so,
gotten anything.
and so,
You saw my eyes open up big.
yeah,
Yes.
you guys over the big. And Chairman Edwards,
Somebody-
I'm right here with you. I'm right here ready to assist you as your vice chair. You know, so I
Okay.
guess reach out to me, you know, whenever, so we could put that together. But I think it'll be
All right.
advantageous.
Has
if we get that done.
anybody sent their bullet points and concerns?
Yeah.
No.
Not me.
I sent a whole bunch
I
of
didn't
stuff.
really have any, surprisingly, knock on wood, I didn't really have any outstanding concerns for my.
I bet you
folks in the
Commissioner
SMU.
Lucio is not here. I bet she has sent something or something. But
I sent a thick package
Okay.
all the way back to 2015.
Yeah, so
You know, yeah, things that they still haven't done. That
okay.
I'm, working on now. I mean, it's just crazy.
All right. So we need to get the letter done. Look like he's not coming now till the end of April, but we can get the letter done so they can start working on some of those issues. And then when he come in April, he'll be able to explain, maybe address, tell us the
I thought
status
we-
of some of these issues.
I thought this letter was supposed to be going to Mary Che.
it's going to both.
It's going
Okay.
to both, yeah.
Going to
Okay,
both.
okay,
It's going to
all
both.
right.
That's what we said. It's going to both.
Okay, fine. That's
And when are you gonna send the letter?
Now we got to write it. And so I've got to look at everything that Commissioner Washington says. She said it sounds like hopefully I'll be able to, sort
I
of
can
look
go
at
back
it
and do something else, but I send stuff.
yeah, maybe
Commissioner
if you
Fletcher
can
is no-
summarize what you sent, and maybe you did it already in terms of help us.
I'll summarize it, but I want them to see the emails too.
So you
I
want
want
to attach all
them
that
to
stuff?
see
Okay,
that.
Those could
all
be
right.
those could be attachments. Those could be
Yes,
attachments.
I
We can
want those
refer to them.
attachments.
Yeah, those can be
Yes.
attached or exhibits, whichever
Okay.
one you want. Yeah.
I do. I mean,
So-
All right.
it doesn't make
So
sense.
if you can help us to word or write, you can send us some wording. Commissioner Fletcher say he's going to help me to finalize the letter.
I'm just gonna give you a list of the concerns, to put together everything that I sent in the packet.
That'll work.
I'll just do itemized list.
I'll have my list for you next week. I didn't know if going to the council.
Next week.
Next week. We need that this week.
Oh, well, I'll try my best, but I got other obligations, okay?
Oh, man,
Okay.
tell me about it. I got redistricting all the rest of the week. What are you talking about? Every night? What are you
So
talking about?
So just if you do, just take your little pen and get you a sheet of paper, Mr. Lockett, and put it on the table. And then as you're thinking about things, just write your little notes down there. And then that way you'll have it ready and you can send it. Don't block out no time to think about it. Just
Right.
sort of,
But- In the last year and a half, they already got all of them. They've been having them for the last year and a half since I've been ANC. I just got one today from the deputy about something we've been asking for, and they still won't give us the paperwork.
Well, that's what you want to list. Those
Yes, I'm gonna
things.
list that on there.
That's what you want to list.
Yeah.
Chairman,
write
Edwards,
those things down and send them to us. I'd like to try Commissioner Fletcher if we could have the letter sent out by Monday, no later than Monday next week. So that means we got the rest of this week
Okay.
through the weekend, and then on Monday the letter goes out.
Okay.
Today is
Okay.
Wednesday.
Okay. And I have two, the traffic hawk signal and another request that I'll send you as well for me. And then just let me know when you want to just go over it, revise it, review it. Yeah. So that's,
So
and
you've got a draft you started already?
no, sir, no, I'm not doing anything without the chair.
Okay.
You didn't.
No.
I think that sounds like you need that help.
All
Yeah.
right, let's okay. So that's it. We will work on this, Commissioner Fletcher, and I will work on this if you all get whatever information you all can to us. And our goal is to have the letter out by Monday. So the sooner you get us the information, the better we'll be able to get a draft so that we can send out to everybody so y'all can look at it before we actually send it.
Okay.
Perfect.
And then
Well, I have a couple of concerns that I want to talk about. Is that okay? you
Okay.
guys?
I just want to make sure Commissioner Fletcher, because I think in his opening, he did 2 or 3 things.
Oh, okay, you got another one?
Yeah, just finish it up. But with the safety transportation conversation, with spring on the horizon, we do this safety meeting. And so I was looking to do this, this public safety meeting sometime in April, after our March meeting, but before the April meeting, or it could be after the April meeting and before the May meeting. But I just want to talk to us here about when we want to have that public safety discussion, right? About transportation issues, crime issues, bring different stakeholders, so we can have a conversation with the community as we open up and, the weather changes and gets warmer. So we did this last year, but I don't want to move without talking to the entire team first and figuring out when we would like to have this public safety meeting.
Commissioner Fletcher, is that the one we had at Providence?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But now we could try and do it at Providence again in person, which I think would be, I'm all for that. Or we could do it virtually. I know Providence would probably be a good partner. Talk to Commissioner Lucio, but let me know so that we can start planning it out.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if that was the same meeting. That's, it doesn't matter to me. Yeah.
Okay.
Just want to know if that was the meeting.
So, Mr. Chair, others.
Any other commissioners have any
That
comments?
sounds, I'm all on board. I think in dealing with public safety, I think that's something that we should have sooner than later, because once the weather breaks, there's always generally an uptick in crime and things like that in the city. So, I don't know if we can have that in early April before our April meeting, or early May before the May meeting, but I just think we should have it early in the month, sooner than later if possible.
Yeah, I could do April. We could plan for April. We could plan for, mid-April. That would give, and then what I could do is I will have a date solidified by our March 23rd meeting, so that way folks can be aware of it and put it on their calendars. But my question to the team is, do we want to try and do it in person or virtually?
I personally like the virtual.
I'm getting comfortable now with the environment. Everything is, I think things are sort of mellowing out. I have that on the agenda to discuss tonight. I think in terms of our future meetings, I don't want to get too far out in front of everybody, but at some point, I think we do need to start having discussions about even bringing our regular meetings back to person for those that want to, and keep some version of this so that anybody who can't make it to the meeting but want to be able to participate in here can do it from home. I like this because it helps us to reach more people. So but go I'm fine. So what do you guys want to do?
I would love to do it in
mask
person.
mandate go away before we do in person.
The mask mandate has gone away.
In DC?
Except for in government buildings. I think it's still in government buildings.
Only Commissioner Washington when you are face to face with customers or clients. But like in my building where you have Department of Human Services and my agency, it's not a requirement any longer.
Okay, so what it would be at UDC if we would have an open meeting there?
It probably wouldn't be. Now you can still
As a
request
school.
it. Different government agencies or private places can still request that you have it depending on the level of service, but I don't believe UDC just in general has a mask requirement right now.
Okay. I know I was over there a few weeks ago and I had to have mine on when I went in the office. So
I thought it had ended the Monday, not this
March
Monday,
the
but
1st, March
Monday.
1st, March 1st.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay.
I could try and see about a hybrid. I could try and talk to Commissioner Lucio, see if we can have the capability to do something hybrid at Providence.
Okay. Okay.
And you're talking April probably by then.
We're talking April. Yes, sir. We're
Yeah.
talking April.
I'm fine.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'll go forward with that. And then it was just the Uchenna Evans situation, and I'm done. It's what I just want us. I know we all don't attend the North Michigan Park meetings, but Bill Smith and others, they attend all of it, and they want to see it happen. What
are we talking about? What are we talking about?
recognizing Uchenna Evans, because Commissioner Washington, you remember when this came up some years ago with her and Frank Wiles and Rodney Foxworth? It was a whole situation. And then members of the community, especially those living in North Michigan Park, were upset with us for not recognizing her, primarily because of what she does with the blog. There's a blog that she has that provides a lot of information about not just ANC 5A, but matters, but ANC 5 matters, ANC 4B matters, LRCA, North Michigan Park. So a lot of the community goes to her blog for information, which I can say, objectively speaking, it is beneficial, but I know recognizing her could create some issues with others as well, right? So with all those things being true, I just want to see what we want to do here. And Ronnie, just so you know, folks have said that you even said that you were supportive of this as well at one point or the other. So I just want us to have a meeting here so we're all on the same page. We have one voice around this. We go out there to the body, to the community.
Okay, but I heard you say you doing it North Michigan, the blog, LRCA. We don't have any of that on Fort Totten or Pleasant Hill side or Catholic U side.
I hear you.
Or, I'm just saying, it seems like to me, I hear what you're saying, but does it have to come from the commission? It's commissioners. If it's the three of you guys and you guys want to do, I'm just asking. Because it's not universal for the entire 5A. That's all I'm saying.
Well, and I just want to kind of go back to the discussion now, as I remember us having it when this came up, and Commissioner Wiles at the time was one of the ones that was vocally, sort of in opposition to it. And one of the reasons that he gave was that we as an ANC don't have standards for how we select individuals and so we need to make sure whatever we're doing is being fair. And then he was talking about Commissioner Lewis. And then he was talking about Commissioner Lewis, who had been a commissioner for a long time, and we couldn't do anything for her or didn't do anything. But it was all those kind of conversations that came up. So, we're here today, and I think out of that discussion, we just need to, set, I think, some standards or some guidelines by which we're going to honor people so that we can make sure that people feel that we're not just picking our friends and that there is so I'm fine with it. Like I say, anything like this beyond a written resolution, long as the commission is willing to fund those activities, I'll be supportive if the whole commission wants to do it. Yeah.
And I think at that time also, wasn't it because she had been the president or something of the Civic Association?
Yes.
That's what it was about. Now that I recall.
Well. Right.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, if y'all don't mind, if I can chime in on this.
Yes, absolutely.
Commissioner Fletcher presented this to me when we were discussing with Commissioner Lockett talking about UDC, and I just want to share some of my thoughts on it and concerns. First of all, Chairman Edwards touched on the main one, the fact, and I shared this with Commissioner Fletcher, that without a set standard or bar, I'm not sure why we are recognizing it. And he shared, and Mr. Oliver shared some things with me, some of the work that she's done, like the blog and other things. But and I'm, y'all know me, I'm direct. I told Commissioner Fletcher I could support, but that wasn't something I was promoting. And I thought, I think you wanted me to kind of take the lead on creating a resolution, but to be honest, I just said I didn't really have anything to add to it. Uchenna and I are fine. We work well together and things like that. She's in my SMD, but I've only worked with her in this capacity for a year. I have not worked with her. I don't really know of her work prior to, other than her being the LRCA president. And with that being said, I was kind of curious as to if the gentleman, Bill Smith, was the North Michigan Park Civic Association. Why aren't they doing some type of award or recognition or something like that, rather than, you know, kind of putting that on us to do so? Now, with that last point, because of all this, maybe this might spark us to possibly create some type of yearly recognition that we can do for somebody's community service in 5A or something like that. And maybe folks can submit, just like, you know, some folks will submit names for the library. Maybe folks can submit to the commissioners, folks who they think you know, should get the recognition and why. And then, you know, we can kind of vote on it like we do different things. But I do feel a little bit uncomfortable just kind of blindly, and I say blindly because, again, you know, folks can share with me their reasons for wanting to give her this, but, you know, I don't really feel any type of way about it. You know, like I said, I don't oppose it, but, you know, I don't necessarily see the reasons for giving it.
I can say, just with my experience and stuff with the ANC and my dealings with Uchenna, she has really been a invaluable sort of resource. I have to admit that in terms on issues. I mean, when we start talking about zoning and all of that stuff, I mean, she was right there at the forefront in terms of helping us to come up with you know, the solutions. But
I agree.
I think that
It
there
was
are other
also
people.
instrumental on the comp plan.
Oh, yes, the comp plan. Yes, the comp plan. That's what I was talking about. And but you know, there were also a lot of other people who helped. And so I just want to make sure that if we come up with something, it's exactly what you just said, Commissioner McDuffie. It is a program that we have sort of given some thought to, and then we have parameters and some kind of expectation. Everybody know what the criteria is, and it's an open and transparent operation.
And I'll be happy that, you know, Uchenna can be the first to receive that once we kind of come up with it. But I think we should kind of at least discuss, you know, a few things that should set the bar for that moving forward.
Now, I have a question. Yeah. Yeah, I have a question too. Like when we say we want to honor someone or recognize them, is there like a specific, in the past and stuff, is there like a way that happens? Like, is it a certain award, like a community service award or something like that? Because I know I'm, you know, obviously newer here. So
I'm new to Commissioner, so maybe Commissioner Washington and Edwards.
Yeah.
We have not, Commissioner. I don't think we've had any kind of
none. No, we haven't. No.
Yeah, well,
No.
Well, one of the reasons is because it's not an activity that is funded by the ANC. I think that's been one of the reasons, but you know, that doesn't prohibit us, you know, and I think what we just need to do is think it through and come up with a reasonable plan.
I think the last time that I can remember, not to interrupt you, when we were 3 commissions, A, B, and C. And this goes way back because Mr. Bowser was on with me. And he was at the end of his last term and was not running again. And I think it was a couple of them alone. But what we did, as Ronnie Commissioner Edwards was talking about, we gave them plaques, but we paid for them ourselves, you know, and that was because they were leaving. We had a big set back then. You would have a celebration, you'd have a holiday party, and you honored those folks and things. We have not done that I know of since we became, the 3 commissions went away at all. And like I said, that was something we orchestrated, the food, everything we did on our own from community input. It had nothing to do with the commission at all. Nothing.
Yeah.
Okay,
that makes sense.
If I can make a quick suggestion, and please, I want to hear everyone else. Chairman Fletcher, would you be interested in possibly coming up with at least a baseline of some criteria? Because I think this is something we should try to get done prior to the summer break, if you all are comfortable with that. I don't think it's something that we have to do tomorrow, but I do think, you know, if we can get this done prior to the summer. And then, like I said, I think I'd be more than happy to, you know, try to, you know, see if she's the, you know, first receive such awards, but other commissioners agree, because again,
But we still have to open it up to
right,
others.
right,
Well,
I,
the nominations.
right.
I think we have, I think this is a great idea. I love the conversation. I think this is an opportunity for us, if we do this right, to get even more connected and with our community and get even more input and involvement from our community.
Mhm.
If we let folks know, look, we want to honor and recognize community members that are doing good work, community work. And so, and we want you to nominate individuals,
Right.
and we'll have an objective criteria that everyone can use as a basis. I think this will just make us tighter. A little friendly competition doesn't hurt anybody as
Right.
well. So, what I would say, Commissioner McDuffie, is I would definitely gladly, as long as everyone here supports, I'll take lead on that. I want to rope in Commissioner Rojas as well. I think this will be a good learning opportunity for him and training ground for him to learn some things within the community and anyone else. But I definitely want to get you, Commissioner Rojas, involved in this as well.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah. No, because I think it's a really cool opportunity too. Even like, I mean, obviously there's famous ones like, the Presidential Medal of Freedom or stuff like that. Like if we have kind of a defined award or, recognition, and then, like we've all been saying, like a certain criteria for that, I think it'd be really cool. And, there's tons of people in the community who definitely could be nominated for that. And it's a good way of recognizing them.
Yeah. And for you, it's a good for you to learn the community, because I think for you, you can learn even more about where we've been, where we're going, things of that nature as well. I know Commissioner Lockett has been having his hand up.
Would it be nice if we got together with other commissioners in the DC area and draft a letter and send it to the head of all the ANCs and ask if they could do something as extra funding for us to do this for people like Commissioner Washington, 17 years, or Rashina that's did so much community service here. If we put something out there, that could become regular each year, that we point out a person that went above and produce things for the community and recognize them for it. Because it is a good feeling to know that your community give you a plaque of some sort recognizing your accomplishments for the community. I feel good about mine.
Yeah,
And I see the ones on your wall too.
I think that's a great idea. I think we just, like everything else, we do it first here, show the example, the model, and then with the support of the chair and everyone here, we get it sent out for sure.
Yes.
I think that's great. And Mr. Chair, I think what would assuage and calm people is if we at least let folks know at our March meeting that this is what we're going to do. And if anyone has any suggestions that they want to provide in terms of criteria, we don't have to take their suggestions, but at least we're allowing folks to give input. They can't say they're not part of the process. And then it'll keep some folks quiet as we put this together.
All right, I agree with that approach. That sounds reasonable to me. I mean, at the meeting, we would just be talking about the program and getting input from the people, ideas and suggestions, not making any decision at that time about who we would be honoring. Okay.
Exactly. All right. That's. Thank you very much.
And real quick, Chairman Fletcher, as far as the gentleman, Mr. Smith, again, I appreciate, him wanting to nominate you, channel any other resident, but I think, when you possibly go back to speak with him, just to let him know, the reason we're not just solely going in that direction, to Commissioner Washington's point, is that only to be fair, to open it up to all of our residents in 5A to have the opportunity to be recognized.
And go back to give Grace Lewis one, who did all the service she did for all those years.
And I think it would really be good if we are going to honor your tenure. And I'm thinking about some of these services that you all are talking about, and Commissioner Washington kind of hammered on, talked about it mostly, those things that she were doing, like in Lamont Riggs, and not necessarily things that are directly related to our 5A. So it seemed like to me, a letter maybe from the Civic Association in
Mhm.
support of this is
Mhm.
something that we would want to also have. You know, they want that, you know, they're wanting us to do it. I'm like Commissioner McDuffie now. You know, why don't they come forward with something in writing to us and say, you know, this is this great person that we want to honor.
Mhm.
Well, I
I
don't know if
agree.
you all know this, but my husband's on the board of the North Michigan Civic Association.
Okay.
So I can have a conversation with him, and they have an executive meeting tomorrow night. So I can ask him to bring that to their attention.
Yeah, I think you could definitely bring up the North Michigan Park for sure. But with Uchenna, I think this one,
Lamar Riggs.
that Lamar LRCA would be. I think they both absolutely both could support, but LRCA is the one I think we'd be looking for Uchenna.
And the only
But
reason I'm saying that now, if this is, and let's look at it two different ways. I think if we're saying, hey, these are services that she has provided to the ANC, the benefit to the ANC and all that kind of stuff, then we're in our own right to recognize her. But if we're going to be recognizing her for the blog and we're going to be recognizing her for something else that she's doing for somebody else or for a different community, then I think we need to have the support of the Civic Association, you know, kind of in so doing.
right, sounds good. I don't want to continue the conversation longer than needed. I got it, and I will take my marching orders and proceed as directed.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I had to run out real quick. I just want to just double back real quick. So was there anything else I missed about the UDC Garden? Chairman, Commissioner McDuffie, you're going to work on getting them to the meeting? Okay, and can you send me the names of them so I have them spelled properly so I can add them to the agenda?
Yes, ma'am. And what I'm going to do first, Commissioner Lucio, either this evening or first thing in the morning, I'm going to reach out to Mr. White with UDC just to share with him that we would like to invite him and some of the, I'll share with you directly, but just some
Okay.
of the concerns that we thought we really wanted him to touch on. Not
Okay.
actually concerns, but just, you know, things to talk about, basically.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, just let me know.
No problem.
That'd be great. And then Commissioner Edwards or Commissioner Fletcher, Director Lott's coming to our April meeting and you're handling that, right?
Chairman, I'm handling that, correct, yes.
Okay.
And Chairman Edwards and I are working together to have a letter drafted for Mary Che and Director Lott by Monday.
Okay.
So if you
And
need
just so you
information,
know,
send it to
there
the
was an email that went around from DPR. Chris Dyer is wanting to come to our meeting in March. So that's Chris and then UDC for March. And then also the awards and guidelines conversation, right? For all those three things are for the March meeting for the agenda, right? Is there anything else? Commissioner Washington, is there a quarterly report or anything like that for the March meeting?
No, April.
Okay. Okay.
But I'd like to also try to add, and I need to look at it because One Hawaii Avenue is moving, effectively started moving their residents from One Hawaii to other apartments because they have a demolition date set for June to tear the building down. And I was trying to get them to come to our meeting in March, well, maybe April, to just give an overview, an update on the process of where we are with the One Hawaii Avenue project.
Okay. All right. I can.
And that Abra license is going to have to go back on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll
that'll be April. Yeah.
You want the One Hawaii Avenue for April?
Yeah, not this month, April. Yeah.
Okay. Because Director Lott's coming in April, so.
Yeah, well, he ain't gonna stay long. He ain't gonna talk much.
All right. Chairman Edwards,
We're going to be
you
trying to get
want-
out of there.
He's gonna be trying to get out of there quick.
Chairman Edwards, you want the Chairman
That's
Edwards, you
good.
want the, what was it again you wanted on there back on the agenda?
The Trinity ABC license. I'll forward that information back to you.
Okay.
I ain't even thinking the name of the company now.
All right. And so just a reminder, I am not going to be here for the March meeting. So is there somebody who would kindly be willing to run the Zoom and also take minutes, or two people? I don't care.
Well, I can help March meeting. I guess I should be available. I can help take minutes.
Okay,
And we
thanks.
can record the meetings anyway. Somebody
Yeah.
else got to do the Zoom. Somebody
Yeah,
else has to do the Zoom.
Commissioner McDuffie, you know how to do it. Do you mind doing the Zoom?
No, I can do that.
That'd be great. Thanks.
Okay.
Sure.
And then Chairman Edwards, I had two quick questions.
Wait a minute, Emma, you left. You got to wait.
I'm sorry.
I got my
I'm sorry.
turn. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Look,
Look for them privileges.
yeah, I got two concerns, well, two issues I wanted to ask about. One is directed to Commissioner Fletcher. The office at the Martin, is it still being used by that group, by the Ward 5 Mutual Group?
It is.
Is,
It
and
is.
I mean, that's solely just that they're using, and the reason why is because once the individuals move from 1 Hawaii Avenue, we're still going to be having like monthly meetings. And the meetings will be on Saturdays because the individuals, it'd be easier for them to come together on a Saturday as opposed to an evening. And I need to have a location for them to meet in Ward 5.
Okay.
So that's why I'm asking about the office.
And
space.
that room will, what's the capacity of that room?
I gotta verify, but 30, probably 20, 30 people.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
That'll work for you?
Yeah, because it would probably be about 25 people.
How often will they meet? Is it every Saturday?
Well, no, it will probably be once a month during the construction because they want to make sure everybody is still brought up to speed and that they don't lose the continuity of all of the residents that are living there and that are being relocated.
Yep.
And they asked if we could still do it in Ward 5 where they could have access to metro or parking where people can still come out. And it would be during the day. It would probably be like a 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock meeting, 12 to 2 or 12 to 3, something like that.
Commissioner Washington, that's not a problem. We will make that work. We just gotta figure out the space in terms of like putting the tables and chairs in there, things like that, so they can meet. You know, at some point, you and I can go over there and look at it and figure that out, but that won't be a problem. Just send me an
Okay.
email, let me know, like starting when
Okay,
and when's the
I will.
first date, so we can
Right.
let Ward 5 mutual aid. And I'm glad that everyone knows it's open, honest about it. They're using it, but everyone
okay,
else.
we're
can
not
use
gonna
it too.
we're not gonna go there because that was
Okay.
not agreed by the commission. Okay,
All right,
so
all
we're
right.
not gonna go there.
Okay, all right, all right,
Right.
okay. We won't go there. Okay,
No, please, let's not go there.
moving on.
Yes,
Okay.
keep it positive. Don't stir
Yeah,
Right,
it.
keep positive,
right,
keep positive.
right.
Okay,
Let's not go there.
okay,
And
all
the
right.
second thing is has to do with the website contract. I think I had brought it up before, Commissioner Lucio. We have an end date on this contract of December 31st, 23. And a contract cannot go beyond our time in office. And if I'm correct, Commissioner Edwards.
Well, yeah, that's what we said.
Yeah,
we
so,
told
so it cannot be to December 23rd. So we have to do a modification. It has to be December 31st, 22, because that's the last official date for
Okay.
us. So that modification needs to take place. You need to reach out so we can have that changed. And then also I need to, and I didn't do it, but I'm going to go back and do an audit of the expenses, because if we don't have enough money that's on there now, because I just received 2 invoices, that's something that's got to be discussed with the full commission as to whether or not we're going to add money, or if we, other than for the set items like the yearly fees that we're supposed to have for them. Because right now, I'm going to do that not tonight. I'm going to do it tomorrow. Check and see if we still have enough money, because I received 2 invoices. And I know they're doing little things here and there, but I'm trying to stick to what the scope of the actual contract says.
Yeah,
So-
I understand that. And I only try and reach out to them when I absolutely need something. If there's something that was that we had an issue with the posting of notices and they fixed that. And then they helped us put on the grant
grant
contract.
application.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
grant
grant
contract and had that.
application.
Yeah, the grant application. So I don't talk to them a whole lot. It's just when we need something like that, then that we need to, or if something's not working right. But I understand them. So I will at least reach out to them and find out if we can get that contract modified.
We have
for
to get
December
them, we
20th.
have to get the contract
Yep.
modified.
Yep, I'll do
And
that.
then on top of that, I need to make sure there's enough money, because I know they're billing us for these things. I know what their rates are, but I just want to make sure that the project roles and the hourly cost that they are billing us for is for things that we really can't do ourselves. That's the key.
Okay.
That's where I am. So if we could get that done and maybe have that for our meeting for the end of the month so that we can vote on modifying the date. We need to do this as soon as possible.
So I won't be at the March meeting.
Oh, okay, you won't. Well, can you have it and we can still vote on it? I'm sure we can have the document.
Yeah, I'll try and reach out to them before that and see if I can get them to just modify the contract before
Yeah,
that.
and then they can send that to me and then I can present that at the March meeting.
Yeah, yep.
So, Commissioner Washington, would it be, I'm just thinking about our website and saying, okay, the contract ends on December 31st. We don't want them thinking now that services, you see what I'm saying? So I'm trying to figure out how in this language we can say that, we are approving this up through December 31st. The new commission will have to vote to continue or something, so that they know that, it's not that we don't want it and that it ends, but that we have a legal requirement that we have to follow. So I just, we don't want to leave them in limbo and then they come back in January, we come back and we don't have a website.
No, I don't think that has anything to do with it.
Okay.
Am I correct?
The website won't go away. The
No.
problem is that's going to need to that's going to need to be a priority one number of business in January 2023 to make sure that contract gets that it's ready to go in time for the meeting in January, so that happens.
But in time for the meeting in January, specifically for making sure the hosting of those individual items, not setting up in detail like this website is now. This is for the new website. So it would not be this contract here.
No.
It would be a new contract that would be put up for maintenance.
Right.
Of the website.
Right. And hosting.
Right. Yeah, that would be the difference.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Does that answer your question, Commissioner Edwards?
Yes.
Okay.
Great. Now, if I can, I have two questions real quick. Chairman Edwards, did we ever do the letter for St. Joseph's? You and I talked about that after the meeting on the phone the other day.
Okay.
Let's
get that out. Let's get it out tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. And then please send me a copy of that when you get it done.
Okay. Matter of fact, okay, no, I'll look.
They sent you.
Did they send a draft or something?
They did. They sent a draft.
That's what I thought. Yeah. I thought I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it should be relatively easy to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then did you had asked us at the last meeting to send you stuff about projects we had with DDOT, which I sent you a whole bunch. I don't know who else did, because you were going to send a letter to DDOT. Did you do that?
No, that's the letter that we're talking about that we're going to try to get out by Monday. So we're asking everybody to send comments. If they have comments that they want to include in the letter, get it to us. Commissioner Fletcher and I are going to work together to get a letter out by Monday. So that means we would probably be sending a draft to you guys probably Friday or something like that, Saturday at the latest. Yeah.
All right. You have all my pages and pages of comments that I sent you, right?
I told him, I said,
he got mine too.
I bet she sent something.
Oh, I know I sent you something.
Yeah, I did too.
Okay.
Yeah. After the last meeting, you had asked for it by Saturday. So I made sure to get it to you guys
and I
at
did
the time.
too.
And now we're changing the deadline again.
All right. So now it's a new Saturday. So you all should have something from Commissioner Fletcher and I by Friday, a draft. And then we can hopefully finalize it and send it out by Monday.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I guess that's cool. I would like to tell you guys, we got all the maps now except for 5As for redistricting.
Oh, I talked to
And,
Anthony last night.
Yep, and we're gonna have them. So we have our first meeting of the co-chairs on all the maps on Friday. So
I was
we're
not
meeting
happy
on
that he
that.
did not come prepared for that meeting.
Well, I mean, they know what they want. They're just gonna send it out. You know.
Yeah. Well,
They're gonna
he
send
asked
it
me
out.
for some comments on some of that stuff I brought up last night, so I shared that with him.
Yeah.
So is there any, well, no, I guess not.
What?
No, that part's over. So now you're just looking at commissions.
We're looking at
SMD.
commissions now, but yeah,
SMDs.
yeah, SMDs and what they're submitted. And they broke them out by their maps and submitted them on yesterday, and you know, indicated in, you know, whether they needed to create additional SMDs or you know, based on the populations. And some did. I mean, the biggest ones are 5E and 5C. They had the most growth. So now we have to sit down and go through them and see what to, you know, how to draw those actual boundaries. If some needs to go into some of A needs to go into B, or B need to come into C, or C need to come into B, or we have
y'all
to
haven't
figure
gotten
it
that
out.
far yet in terms
That's
of
what we're starting this weekend. That's what
Okay.
we're doing. Yeah, because everybody gave a map within the commission, and some of the numbers are still overlapping. Yeah.
Okay. Did you,
So,
okay. Anybody have anything else on that? I saw your hand, Commissioner Lockett, so I will get to you in a minute. All right.
I mean, it's moving along. We'll have something for the commission to go out by the 15th, I believe it is. It'll be out so that people we're gonna try to do at least two maps and put them out by the 15th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Commissioner Lockett.
Thank you, Commissioner. Two things. One, when we talk about crime.
Before I forget, Commissioner Washington, you attended the meeting today for the
Yeah, I did. I talked
We
about
talked about that before you got
weren't
here.
on.
Oh, okay.
We had a long discussion.
Well,
about
I
that.
can call you after the meeting.
Yeah,
I can
you
call
can
you after
call
the
me
meeting.
afterwards.
Okay. All right. Commissioner Lockett, go ahead.
We talk about crime in the city, okay? And mainly what comes out of Ward 7. Just for your general information, Ward 7, that particular area there, the east side of it, Benton Heights, Minnesota Avenue, they have one supermarket there. It is a Safeway. It will be closing. So that means they will be coming to our supermarkets. So there may be a little rise in crime. Now, the second one is,
Wait
I
a minute.
received
Wait a minute, Ward 7, where Bennett Road and what now?
Benton Road, right there's one Safeway there. There's no other supermarkets there.
Bennett Road and what? Bennett
Minnesota
Road
Avenue.
in
Ben Road,
Minnesota Avenue?
Minnesota. Yeah.
Yeah. Just as you
But
come
there's a
across the
Harris,
bridge.
there's a Harris Theater down the street from there.
Where?
Down off of is it Pennsylvania Avenue?
That's Pennsylvania Avenue. That's over Ward 8.
That's what.
Yeah, but that's not far from there.
Are you kidding? When
It's a
people
little
gotta
bit of a
walk?
ways.
But I think if they had a choice between going that way and coming to Ward 5, they're going to come over to
They're
Ward
going to go over
5.
that way. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure I agree with this assumption that they're going to bring crime. I'm not sure. If
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think
I
I
don't
want
know
to.
anything.
I don't want to hear that just because.
Okay.
I don't think that's
No.
fair.
You're not paying attention to the city then. You haven't been here that long. I grew up in that area over there in East Capitol.
But I don't
And-
want to make assumptions about
But
people
they're-
coming in
but
our
yeah,
area and
but
bringing
yeah.
crime.
And I think that over there, they also have plans to rebuild. They're redeveloping, I think.
They're
of,
talking about
Pittsburgh.
putting a supermarket at 58 East Capitol, a vacant lot that's been there for 12 years.
Okay.
The same lot where Marvin Gaye grew up, right at the bottom of the hill. There's no other supermarket. The ones on the outskirts of Maryland,
It's one at the top of Benton Road, top of Good Hope Road. There's I don't know if it's a Safeway up at the top of Good Hope Road. but-
It's a
but there's
Safeway up
There's a
there.
John up there off of Alabama Avenue,
And it's
right?
relatively
Yeah,
new
right
too.
there, good old
Yeah.
road, Alabama Avenue.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
But
there's some,
you're talking about people coming from as far as Eastern Avenue there. There's no supermarkets up there, over there in
Which
area
you
4.
mean East Capitol Street?
There's no supermarkets. And they're
Well,
getting ready to close the one dirty Safeway they have there.
Okay, but
That
I don't think
means
that, I just can't agree with you that crime is gonna come with it.
Yeah,
I mean, we
and-
got crime, I can't do that.
And Chairman and Commissioner
I
Lockett, there's
disagree.
another Safeway at Benning Road and Bladensburg Road, right down the road from them.
Yeah,
And that's a high crime area.
okay, who's speaking?
Oh, that's my
Sorry,
daughter.
This
It's
is
a
an
private
executive
meeting.
this is
committee.
executive
Okay.
meeting.
Yes, it's executive
Okay.
meeting.
You got to step out, Miss Lockett. Oh, they let you in. Okay, well, you have to step out.
She just
Okay,
can't comment. She can be
on,
on,
but
but she
Yeah.
can't
you
comment.
can listen. You can listen, but no
Yeah.
comment. Okay.
Right.
Now, the second is that I received a email about last week, I believe, about an incident at the 5300 block of South Dakota Avenue where someone was killed in a traffic accident there. And it took place back here in February the 9th. Do anybody have any information on that?
No, did you go
Well,
to the Sector 2 meeting? The other day?
No.
You should go to the
You
Sector
should go
2
to the
meeting.
sector 2 meetings.
You should go to the Sector 2 meetings, because that's where they're talking about that stuff.
and it was briefly mentioned during my SMD meeting, Commissioner Lockett. I believe it happened on Commissioner Fletcher's side of South Dakota Avenue. But I can't remember give me 1 second, who was on,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, Mr. Lockett, Commissioner
Yeah.
Lockett, you should definitely get on the sector 2 meetings from MPD.
Okay.
but
They
yes,
give you
sir.
all the updates on the
Crime.
accidents, crime, everything. And it's you're with the actual MPD to get all the statistics and stats that you need.
The other
Well,
thing you can
I
do
was
is you
just
can go to,
concerned because this took back here February the 9th and somebody just decided to send it to me just now.
I don't
I
know
mean,
why.
yeah, the police
I know
department
the
spoke
other-
on it at the meeting. I'm not sure what other information went out as far as the news and media and stuff like that, but.
But they
it's a-
also come out on the emails, because I think
Well,
I
and-
remember that.
Yeah, and
yeah,
that's
it's
how I
on the
got it.
email.
So-
And Commissioner Lockett, you can also go to Crime Card and you can put in the address and the date, and you should be able to find it on Crime Card.
Okay.
You can find all the crime for your ANC, SMD. You can narrow it down as little or as wide as you want. You can do it by time period.
Yep.
Well,
You know,
usually I
all
look
that
out
stuff.
my back door and see McDonald's being robbed or other stores being robbed, just looking out my back door.
Yeah, well, you can go to Crime Card. It'll tell you.
Okay, thank you.
And
That's it for me.
the sector meetings, please. I'm telling you, get on those
Yeah, the
sector
sector
meetings.
meetings are good.
They're
Okay.
good. They're good.
Yeah, I think the other one was just the other night.
So y'all know
was.
it's, y'all know it's trying to change the subject so we can go, but it's budget time. And Nokomis called me and wanted to know if there were any agencies that we wanted to, anybody that we were concerned about their budget and we wanted to have somebody come from their agency to discuss their budget with us.
Ryan, he
Oh.
called me first and then I told him to go to you.
So then, I have to think about all of our discussions that we've been having all year, all the problems that we've talked about that haven't been addressed. The last meeting that we just had was services are not funded or they don't have sufficient funding. We've written a couple of letters to DDOT about some funding kind of issues. And so I'm wondering if you all think this is something that we want to have, say somebody from DDOT come and talk about their budget, or say somebody from MPD come and tell us a little bit, or at least address the things that we are concerned about. Like in the MPD, that was the, what was that unit, that division that we have a motion on. So we have motions budget related on at least MPD, DDOT,
DCRA.
and, probably DCRA.
DCRA, because they're supposed to be splitting and be supposed to become two agencies. Has that happened yet? office is supposed to be business and business regulation and what's the other one? Licensure. It's licensing and inspection. Business and regulation, licensing and inspections. And they are so short of staff right now, it's unbelievable. You can't even get somebody to come out to do inspection where I had over here at on Fort Totten Drive, where this guy was housing cars, using his property as a parking lot. So I called DCRA for them and put it in through the 311. It took them a month to come out. And when he came, the cars are gone because he knew they were coming. And they informed me, what's his name over there? Mark, what's the guy's name? Mark, I can't, he's supposed to be the ANC person for 5A. And he said, well, we just don't have the staff. They're shorthanded to get out. I mean, it's ridiculous. So what is their funding? We would need somebody from them. What is your funding going to be? Are you going to hire people or what?
So I'm going to get back to Nokomis, but it sounds like we have at least 4 agencies that we might be interested in at least providing some comments regarding their budget. Maybe we ought to have a special budget meeting because I think all of this is going to be too much for our March meeting.
Right. A special meeting sounds good to me. I don't know about anybody else, but a special meeting just with each agency head or somebody from that agency.
And I think Nokomis is going to help us to arrange it.
Okay.
Yeah. So if so I have D.DPW, MPD, DCRA.
Okay. Is DPW an issue? I mean, not for me.
It's not.
I mean, DPW
I
making
heard
all the
somebody
money.
saying something about garbage collections and pickup and stuff like that. Mr. Lockett, weren't you complaining about trash collections and right? You're muted.
You're on mute.
Yes, I was. I had some concerns.
Because usually when they send what's her name was Celeste will send out an email if the trash pickup is going to be late.
Can I just say that Celeste is not very responsive?
She's not.
She's horrible
not.
in terms of responsiveness.
Yeah, I have to agree with Sarah on that. I'm sorry.
I have a big complaint with that agency about the lack of responsiveness from her.
I don't think they have a director right now, actually.
I didn't think so either. They don't.
All right, so
What about parking enforcement?
so these
Who's
are
that under?
That's DPW.
That's
DPW, okay, yeah, okay.
So we do want, so DPW, so we have 5 agencies that I will ask him for, and then if we can get someone, he can plan a meeting for us to sort of meet with those agencies to go over their budgets, ask any questions that we want to ask, have a public meeting. That's what we will do. Are we all in agreement to a special meeting?
Yeah.
I am.
Yes.
I think that would be better. Yeah.
Do we have a date? Can we set a date for that?
I don't know now, and Nokomis is gonna have to be the one that, and you can help me in reaching out to him to make sure we get it pinned down.
Okay. I mean, I think it's easier if we give them a couple dates on our end that were available and then start with that.
All right, that's fair, I guess. I'm whatever you all want to do.
Can we look? I mean, are we talking March or April?
April.
Okay.
Right? When the hearing start? When did the budget start?
They're in budget. They're having those hearings now.
Now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a lot of time.
We don't.
So it's got to be. So it's got to be. Well, what are we? March what? 9th?
Yeah, we
Well,
don't. We don't have a lot of time because we can't do it on the 16th because we haven't gotten a week's notice out for that. And the 23rd is our regular meeting, so the only other option would be the 30th.
Which is good, because that's the 5th Wednesday, and we don't have too many.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
So that's right after. So March 30th.
So let's plan on March 30th.
And then you can work with him on any other dates beyond that, but that's our preferred date. How about that?
That's fine.
Yes.
But
Right.
well, wait a minute. I'm reaching out to him about this whole thing.
I'll reach out. Yeah, but you can help since he reached out to you, and you are the secretary will help to get our minutes together and all that.
That's
stuff.
fine.
I
I'll
mean,
tell you what, you take the lead on getting the agency heads there with him. And then once they're all scheduled, I'll take on the responsibility of making sure that they all are notified and everything.
All right. That's fair.
But keep in mind that I'm away for like 10 days in March, so.
Okay. Any more business?
I don't know.
Good night.
Commissioner Rojas, how you doing?
Doing good. I'm actually on spring break right now in Florida on a golf trip. So
Yeah, I saw that
Must be
background.
nice. Must be
yeah,
nice.
yeah, I'm down here with our whole golf team for the week. So it's been good
must
so
be-
far.
Yeah, well,
Must be
Commissioner
nice.
Washington, do you want to know where I'm going in a week?
You said you were going out of the country.
I am.
Where you going?
I'm going to Iceland.
Oh,
We're actually going to Iceland for 5 days, coming back, turning right around, and the next morning going to Colorado to go skiing for 5 days. So
Oh, okay.
That's
Sounds
awesome.
good.
Where
I
in
had a good- I
Colorado
had
are
a
you
great
going to?
time.
Vail.
You're not on.
Oh, Vail's the best. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's where I grew up skiing in Vail.
Oh, nice. That's
So-
great. I
Fletcher,
go
you're
to
not
Beaver
on.
Creek every year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's where I've gone every year. So
To
this is
Vail?
my son's first time, so he's excited.
You have to
To
get in
Vail-
the
to
hot
Vail?
springs.
You're going to
This is-
Vail?
Yeah.
I haven't been there in eons. I used to go there a lot. My
Yeah, it's a great
ex-husband was a
place.
skier. Yeah.
It's a great place to ski. It's where I grew up
Yes.
skiing. My son is very anxious to see the run that I broke my leg on.
Oh, wow.
And
But
you-
Yeah, we used to go
Yeah.
quite a bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
my ex-husband was a skier.
Oh, nice.
and you're gonna love
Yeah.
Iceland.
Well, we
Commissioner
started my son
Field.
this year. We've been up to Liberty and Whitetail quite a bit. So
Yeah, Commissioner McDuffie said you're gonna love Iceland.
we've actually been there once before. We just didn't stay long enough that we really wanted to go back.
Beautiful
So,
place. Very
Now we're
beautiful
going
place.
back. Yeah.
Very beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's really gorgeous.
Try Australia the next time.
Commissioner McDuffie, you've been, I take it?
About 4 or 5 years ago.
That's
Yeah.
funny. The first time we went was about 4 years ago.
Yeah, had
So
the
this is
opportunity to get into the hot, what is the hot springs there? that they
Yeah,
have?
the Blue Lagoon.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Amazing.
We're gonna do the Northern
experience.
Lights.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a volcano cave
Wow.
tunnel thing.
Yes. did that.
We're gonna
Mhm.
do a Golden Circle tour.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're doing a whole bunch of stuff,
Yes.
but still not
Yeah.
enough. I mean, we're
That's
still
right.
not gonna be there to see like the puffins and the whales and
And the food
Right.
was
actually they have skiing there. I'd like to go skiing there.
and the food was amazing. Surprisingly, I didn't expect it, but the food was pretty good as well.
Expensive, but amazing.
I didn't eat the
Very
shark. I think that was whale. It was- I
Yeah,
think it's a
probably whale.
Probably well.
Whale. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Shark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, well.
Yeah, my son was 4 at the time and he ate whale and also a puffin, I think. So
No,
he
thank
liked
you.
it. So anyway,
Yeah.
all right.
Okay.
Enough
All
small
right.
talk.
Okay.
Is that it,
All right.
commissioners?
I'm good. I guess I got all mine in.
No.
I'm good. Anybody else got anything?
Nope,
Chairman
that's it
Nevers,
for
I'm gonna
me.
look for that thing for EYA from you
For
tomorrow,
EYA.
right?
Okay, yes.
And I'm gonna follow up with UDC first thing in the morning and then reach out and make sure I communicate everything with you all.
Okay,
All right.
all right,
And
great.
don't forget to get the contract renewal, that amendment.
I got it. I'm
Yeah,
gonna reach out to them. I'm gonna reach out to them right now.
Okay, great. And I think that's it.
Okay. And
Good
I'll set
night.
the agenda. I'm gonna set the agenda. I'll send you guys in the agenda for the meeting. I will send out the notice and then Chairman McDuffie, if you, or Commissioner McDuffie, if you need anything from me in terms of setting up the meeting, let me know. I think you've got the information, but I can give it to you again if you need it.
Hello?
Will do. I think I still have it, but
Yes.
I'll circle back, Commissioner
Okay,
Russo, if
great.
necessary.
Okay.
All
All
right,
right.
y'all.
Thanks,
right.
everyone.
Oh,
All
good.
right.
Good night.
Have a
Good
one.
meeting. Thank you, guys. Have a nice one.
Good night.